Hi there, and welcome to another episode of How To with Herman, the place to get your project management tips to put you one step ahead of the rest. Now, before we start, please hit the subscribe button, and then you will be notified of when the next video is published. Now, today we will look at how to create a task list or WBS Dictionary for your project. Now, once a work breakdown structure has been created for the project, and please check out the video where I talk about how to build a work breakdown structure for the project. Right, so once that is done, the different work packages for the project needs to be planned in more detail. Now, this is where the WBS Dictionary or the task list becomes a really important document on the project. Now, the WBS Dictionary is in actual fact a task list where specific activities are identified and documented for each of the work packages in order to do a more detailed planning, such as estimation of time and cost, as well as resources and people needed to do the actual tasks on the project. So if you think about it, it becomes really difficult to do a lot of different tasks, some of them at the same time, if these tasks are not listed somewhere, and if the tasks are not planned really well as checked after being done. And this can only lead to certain tasks not being completed or completed incorrectly, which then leads to a lot of rework, which in turn wastes a lot of time and money on the project, and it's not really a nice place to be on the project. So therefore, it's a good idea to do planning for a project up to task or activity level. So in other words, up to the last detail. Now, for smaller projects, this may not be such a big task, but for bigger projects, defining and planning activities can be quite an undertaking, and it's therefore important to do this in a structured manner. Now, one of the techniques to make this process easier is to use templates to create the WBS Dictionary for the project. Okay, so let's look at what a WBS Dictionary may look like. Okay, so here we have an example of a typical WBS task list or a dictionary. Right, so as you can see here, the one that I'm going to use in the example is a for work package 2.3, install a watering system. So this is the dictionary for this specific work package. Okay, so let's just quickly have a look at what I have here. So before I start here, again, I just want to say that the work packages and the headings here can be different for different projects, but this is the example, a very simple example that I'm going to use. Okay, so on the left hand side here, firstly we have your activities, a due date. This can also be a start date and a finish date, the person responsible or your resource, the cost involved, the quality that needs to be checked. I've also put in a column here that says communication, and then a comments column as well. For your dictionary, you can put any amount of columns that you can add here that you want. You can put risk in here, you can put material resources in here, depending on your project. Okay, so on the left hand side here, all the activities are listed. So firstly, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 activities here. So in terms of installing a watering system, first activity here, plan the watering system, buy the material for the watering system, dig the trenches for the pipes, lay the pipes to cover up, couple the system to a municipal water system, and test the watering system. So here you can see these are detailed activities or tasks that fall under this specific work package. Okay, so let me run through the whole thing quickly. Right, so activity, or the first activity here, plan the watering system. The due date is the 4th of February. The person responsible is the project manager, and her name is Simongile. There are no costs involved here because the planning is part of her job and she gets paid for that in any way. So the quality check here is check that the system will cover the whole garden. So once she does the planning of the watering system, she needs to check that the system will cover the whole of the garden. The communication is a checklist of items needed, and the comment here checked against the available budget. So the checklist must be checked against that. Right, so this second activity is buy the material. So that needs to be done on the 5th of February. The project manager will do that. The budget is $100 for the material that needs to be bought. And the quality criteria is good material needs to be bought, so it needs to be approved by some or other quality body. And then the communication here is the purchase of the receipts of the purchases and the filing of the purchases of the receipts as well. Then digging of the trenches can also start on the 5th. You will see it's on the same day. So resource 1 here is John. It's another resource that we bring into the project here. The cost of utilizing John to dig the trenches is $50. And then your quality, the trenches needs to be 500 millimeters deep. A project manager needs to inspect, and the communication here is report to the PM when finished. Right, the laying of the pipes is on the 8th of February, and John must also do that. So again, $50 for John for that specific day, all the pipes to be underground and covered, the quality check and report to the PM. Then the coupling to the municipal water system, or the linking of the garden water system, also on the 8th. John must do that. The quality criteria is secure with no leaks and report to the PM when finished. We'll see that there is no costing here because all of that falls on the same day, these 3 tasks. Test the watering system, also on the 8th. It's PM and project manager and John. And the quality check is the system must be fully operational with no leaks, and the PM will do the final inspection. Okay, so these are the detailed activities or tasks for that specific work package, the due date for that, the person responsible or your resource, the cost involved, the quality, and the communication that needs to take place. And normally here at the bottom we have a summary for the work package. So the time needed for the work package, if you look here, are 5 days from the 4th to the 8th of February, and it's only 5 days because there's a weekend between the 5th and the 8th, so it's actually just 5 working days. The resources needed for this specific work package is the project manager and John. So John needs to have knowledge of digging trenches as well as the tools and be available from the 5th to the 8th. Otherwise, this work package is not going to happen. Then the cost, your material is $100, your labor is $100. Then there's normally a contingency that we put onto the work package. So in this case, it is a 10% contingency of $20. So in case something goes wrong or extra material needs to be bought, and then your total cost for this work package is then $220. Your quality, the quality will be managed by the project manager through physical inspections. So here you can see now in this task list, what I've done here is take the work package and break it up into activities and plan these activities in detail, so that when this work package needs to be done, one can then check the date, the person responsible, the cost, what needs to be checked in terms of quality, what communication needs to take place, what risks are involved, what stakeholders are involved in your specific work package. And this gives you the ability to manage the work package in detail. Once a dictionary has been created for each of the project work packages, the project manager and team can then use this to manage and monitor the project, make changes where it is needed, and stay on top of what is going on in the project. The WBS Dictionary will also enable the project manager to report on and to track progress of the project much more easily, in order to ensure that the project delivery is taking place more smoothly. Now, these days, the WBS Dictionary or task list of different teams on the project is normally done on computer programs, but the basic principles of how it works and how it's put together stays the same if you do it on a computer project program or not. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you'll be able to create a practical WBS for your project. See you in the next video. Bye for now.